What's going on, buddy? My name is Eason and welcome back to another video. And today, we're getting into text and all that fun stuff. Articles, paragraphs, headings in HTML5. So last video, we got through metadata, title, scripts, no script, all that stuff that's go in the head tag. And that stuff does not show up on the web page. Now, the stuff that does show up on the web page goes between the body tags. And the stuff we're going to do shows up on the web page, so it's going to go in between the body tags. So it's very cool. So we know if I just type random stuff and save it, look, it's going to show up on our webpage. I'll zoom in so you can see it. Alright, now I'm zooming back. Out. So typing random things between the body tags is going to show up on the webpage. However, it can vary in between what tags it's in. So let's say we write it between a tag called H1. So just write that out. Bear with me. And let's type in, this is text. Look, it's bold, it's big, it's Times New Roman. That's crazy, I know. It's between H1 tags. H stands for heading, and 1 stands for, the largest heading it can be. So the H1 tag is a heading tag. That's the largest heading style. We changes to H2. Is it going to get smaller or bigger? Well, let's see. It's going to get smaller, because once you go from H1 up to H6, the smallest one, it's just going to get smaller and smaller. So we could do H3 for all of these. And see, it's going to just keep getting smaller and smaller until we get to H6. If I type in H7, it's just going to go back to the default, font with no bold or anything. So these headings add a little bit of bold to it and stuff like that. Let's change this back up to H1. There we go. The largest heading it can be. Let's add a byline. Let's make this a web article. So we're going to see blog entry 1, or we'll put hashtag 1. So it's going to say blog entry 1, and we're on a byline for this. So we'll do a lower headline or heading, and we'll just do H3. So we'll do by, and you can put your name, I'll put the Eason. So there we go. So it says blog entry 1 by the Eason. Very, very cool. And you can see it starts a new line every time. So that's very cool. So when we start a new tag, it's going to start a new line. So let's write a blog entry, and we'll make it a paragraph long. Well, HTML has a paragraph tag. So we could just do the P for paragraph, and then type our paragraph in. So I just type a bunch of things in here, and it's going to put it into a paragraph. On Visual Studio Code, if you type in lorem, L-O-R-E-M, and hit tab, oh my god, look at all of this stuff. And save it. Look, we have a paragraph. And when I zoom in, it gets bigger and gets responsive and all that stuff. So yeah, we have a paragraph in here. Yay! So yeah, the paragraph, it creates a paragraph. That's literally it. It's in Times New Roman by default. It goes all the way to the end of the screen right now because we haven't styled it yet. So yeah, that's very, very cool. I'm going to move this down so we can style it later on with HTML. All right, there we go. All right, let's throw in another blog entry. How about that? So we're gonna throw in a horizontal line in here, and then we're at the blog entry. These are articles. So actually, before we're at that blog entry, let's tell the computer that they are articles. And HTML has an article tag that we are just going to surround these in. We already see when I save that, it makes a difference. It's going to kind of organize it a little more, put it into an actual article. The headings now are going to be kind of closer to the edge of the screen. It's going to look neater because before, I'm going to remove this. It looks more blockier, it looks bigger. The heading is going to get smaller. Things are going to get moved around now that they are within articles. So we're going to write another article. So we're going to put another article tag in. We're going to write another H1 tag. We're going to write blog entry #2 /H1. Make this a little bit neater. Then we'll put in our H3, our byline. We'll say by the Eason, because I'm the only one here. Then we'll put our paragraph in, and we'll do just lorem tab again, because I'm too lazy to actually write out a paragraph. And then we'll put a horizontal line at the end of that. There we go, we have another blog entry in it, and it kind of looks identical to the last one, except this says number 2 on it. And of course, let me make this a little bit neater so I can style it later on with HTML. There we go. Voila! So we have a blog entry now. 2 of them, actually. And we all wrote that in our web page. And how long does this video run for? Not even 5 minutes yet. And we already made a website look like this. This is great, by the way. So it's very cool. So we have our text here, and we have our article tags in here separated by articles. That's very, very cool. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to style some text individually. So the first thing we'll do actually is we're going to bold something. So let's bold this word Elon in here in both sentences. It's not elite because there's no E at the end. So to do that, we're just going to do the bold tag, which is just B. And I'll copy this and bring it over here. And I'll do this for both Elons because why not? Just got to find them. There they go. So I have my bold tags in here. I haven't saved it yet. Now I have. There we go. So I just saved it. I put those bold tags up and Elons in between them and the period. So the period's going to be bold as well. And as you can see here on my webpage, they are both bold. Very, very cool. The next one, let's emphasize something. Let's emphasize this whole last sentence on the second blog post, just the second one. So to emphasize something, you're going to do the EM tag. And then you're going to put the emphasis text in between these EM tags. So as we can see here, this last sentence in the second blog entry is all kind of like italicized and emphasized because they're in between our EM tags. Very, very cool. And I'm going to kind of space that off to make it, neater and look better and all that fun stuff. So yeah, the EM tag. Something that kind of does something similar is the I tag. We're going to do this to the last sentence of the first entry. So our I tag, if I can find it. Oh my god, this last sentence is long. We'll just do this for that part after the comma. So the I tag is going to stand for italicize. So as you can see here, this is italicized. And you're really going to use this for words or phrases that are different from one another. So maybe this is going to be in Spanish or something. I know this is kind of like Latin, but bear with me on this. So yeah, the EM, emphasize, the I, italicize, something that's different. Cool. Now, what if something was relevant at the time of this webpage, but is not relevant anymore? So let's say by the Eason. Let's say I go by a different name or a different pseudonym or something like that. So after the by, because we still need the by, we're going to write del in between the tag called the DLE tag or the delete tag, and then we'll do /DLE, DELE. As you can see here, there's a cross over it. Now let's write some new text in here to show who actually wrote this or what's my new pseudonym. So we're just going to do the INS tag. So we'll just say a Eason instead of the Eason. As you can see here, it's going to put it right next to it and underline it to show, hey, this is wrong, this is right. So yeah, that's very, very cool. Alright, so the next one we're going to go through is the mark tag, which basically is like a highlighter. So maybe I want to highlight lorem in the first paragraph, the first sentence of the second one. So I'll just do mark surrounding it. If I can actually type today. Come on. Oh my gosh, stop putting a closing tag in. And alright, there we go. So we have lorem in between the mark tags. When we save it, it's now highlighted in yellow. It's important. We know that it's there. We could do this with blog entry number 1. So let's just type in mark. Get rid of that. Paste it. And guess what? It doesn't work on headings. So just something to point out. It's not going to work on everything. It's only going to work on headings. Because they're kind of bold, they're kind of important, they're kind of big. Yeah, I mean, not all headings are big. H6 is not that big. So yeah, that's something to know. Now let's put a quotation in here. Let's say that this first sentence of the first blog entry is a quotation. It's a phrase. Someone, I said it, or something like that. So Q for quotation, and yeah, we're just going to do the Q tag in here. No, the Q tag. And there we go. It is now in between quotations. So yeah, very, very cool. Why save that? Okay, so it is like case sensitive with like how many spaces are in here. So there we go. Now there's no spaces in between the quotations. And those quotations, they are, in fact, there. If you can't see it, I'll zoom in. There, they're there. Crazy, I know. Alright, the next one we're going to do is the pre tag. I believe it's pre. Hopefully it is, because I gotta film this video probably a little differently. So here we go. I have like the Librio and it ends in EOS or something. I don't know what this means, to be honest with you. If it's still there, right? Okay, I just need to know where it was. So we'll just say this question right here. We want it to be 3 separate lines. So let's just write about in 3 separate lines. And I saved it. Nothing happens. Well, the pre-tag is actually going to do that for us. I kind of want this all to be like on the same line. There we go. So that's gonna work. So here we go. So it says Librio, and then it's gonna have a comma, blah 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 blah. And the reason this Librio is like the word is on the left, and then these 2 other words are on the right, is because it sees the comma there. So we didn't have the comma there, it wouldn't be like this, because I think it's like a letter or something. And it changes the font to like a Comic Sans font, or like a monospace. So yeah, that's very cool to know. And it's syntax oriented, so I could put these both on this second line. And they go. They're now both on the second line. Very, very cool to know. So yeah, that's the pre-tag. It has like a fixed width with it as well. Now, what if I want this quotation and my first blog entry to be a little bit smaller? Well, we could just put it in between the small tag. I know, there's literally a tag called small. And there we go. We saved it. They're in between the small tags. It's now smaller text. That's crazy. All right. Actually, let's start after this article. We're going to write a new article. And we're going to put it in something called Textarea. And in here, we're just going to write your own article. And in here is a text area. It can be adjusted to as many size. It can have as many words as it wants, and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to use this again until we get into forms, which is going to be a long video on just forms. So maybe you want to make a test, maybe make an education website or something, or a survey, or something like that. You're going to use a form. Maybe you want to have like a review page. You might have this on your review page and stuff like that. So yeah, text area, people can write their own text in here, adjust the size of it, and write as much as you want, unless you, of course, limit that. So yeah, that's the text area tag. The last thing we're going to do is underline. So let's underline this last sentence in second article. Yes, these last 2 sentences. How about that? So in here, we're just going to do U for underline, and then we're going to put that before the paragraph ends. There we go. Now it is all underlined. Very, very cool. And I saved this, so it's not as big as it was before. It refreshed. And there we go. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. We did some stuff on our webpage. And hey, there's the metadata. I have more HTML videos if you guys want to go check those out, especially on the head tag and metadata. The next video, we're getting into symbols and stuff with UTF-8 and HTML5. That's going to be a video not that exciting either, but I think it's really important that you know these. So we're going to put things like copyright and stuff on here and all of that. And how to put angle brackets on a page without it thinking it's a tag. So yeah, that's very, very cool. So yeah, like, subscribe, that helps me out a lot, and it's free, you can change your mind later on. Join my Discord server, the links in the description down below with your comment or criticism. I love criticism. I got more videos for you, but other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Adios!